What's up, my dudes? Tommie Bennett here, and in today's video, I'm gonna break down 26 snowboard tricks that you can learn outside of the park. And of course, in this video, I'm gonna have some beginner, intermediate, and even some techie advanced tricks so that you can have something to work on now, work on later, and something that you can strive for down the road. And with having so many different tricks, I have added chapter markers down below just so it's easy to navigate this video, share it with a friend, or even come back and refer to a specific trick. Today's video is brought to you by BENETEK outerwear and goggle company, my upcoming snowboard brand. More on that in a little bit. And of course, if you're digging the content, give the video a thumbs up so we can share it with the community. Share this with a friend and comment down below. What do you think of this style video? All right, let's break down some tricks. The very first trick we're going to break down today is a tail press. So essentially what we're trying to do is get the nose of our board to be in the air, but we're not going to pop. So as you can see here, I've shifted my weight over the tail of the board, and it's something that really helps me as I'm trying to get my belly button past the back of the binding, and then I got my arms out to help me balance so I don't fall over. And then as I exit the trick, I like to extend off the back leg so I pop up and get used to landing out of a tail press. And if you're looking for a challenge, try to jump into the tail press without letting the nose touch the ground. If you can do this, you definitely are showing that you're in control. And your equipment does play a factor here, so some boards are going to be easier or harder to tail press, but regardless, work on the body positions and have some fun. The next trick we have is a nose press, and this trick is super challenging, so if you don't get it first try, definitely don't get frustrated. So what you're going to be doing is shifting your weight forward, flexing the lead knee, and getting your belly button as far over the nose as you can without falling over like I almost did. And another big thing to remember is as you're doing the nose press, keep your shoulders, hips, and knees stacked over each other, and don't allow your lead shoulder to open too much. If you open too much, you're going to rotate, and it's going to be super hard to actually get the nose press. So have some fun, and if you're looking for a challenge, pop into it and pop out just like that. The very next trick we have is an ollie. This is a great way for us to catch some air when we don't have assistance from a jump, a side hit, or even the ground underneath us. And start by having my weight slightly forward, and then I'm going to shift my weight towards the tail of the snowboard. As I do that, I'll begin to retract my lead knee. It's going to decamber the board and put a lot of pressure on the tail, and then shortly after, I'm going to extend my back leg, allowing us to get in the air. Once I'm in the air, I like to get both of my knees to be as even as possible, and then I extend my legs down to the ground, and that sequence is essentially an ollie. Once you're feeling pretty awesome about the ollie, let's go ahead and try a similar thing, but off of the nose. So we're going to be getting low, shifting our weight towards the nose of the board, retracting our back leg, extending off the lead leg, and we're going to catch some air. Now when you do this, you're going to be leaning downhill, so make sure you find appropriate terrain. And the other thing is, the more you decamber your board, the more air you're going to get, but if you go a little bit too much, you might catch. So definitely try to find a balance of enough pop and not too much. Did you know that you can join me at summer camp and I can be your coach? Well, here's some more information. There is a certain magic that happens when you snowboard in the summer. You meet some of the most amazing people, you ride some of the best and most progressive snow conditions, and with the right guidance, you can take your riding to the next level. My name is Tommie Bennett, and my goal is to make you as awesome as possible, so that's why I decided to host a summer camp. Like you, most snowboarders have not had proper training and are nowhere close to reaching their full potential. Our mission at camp is to have the most fun possible while progressing your riding. Now check out the link in the description for more information on dates and prices. The next trick that we have is a frontside 180, but this does mean that you're going to be landing switch. So check out the link in the description below for an awesome video on how to make your switch riding amazing. So let's start by doing a heel side turn, closing our shoulder towards our toe side edge so we're in a nice wound up position, and then we're going to be extending our legs and throwing our lead shoulder in the front side direction. This means that our front side of our body will be rotating down the hill. As we're in the air, we're going to retract our knees as much as we can, continue the rotation by engaging our core, and then we're going to finish by doing a full 180-degree rotation. As you land, ideally both feet are landing at the same time, and you're absorbing that impact with both legs equally so that you can handle whatever comes next. Now, as you do this trick, I definitely recommend starting small, going big, and as you're feeling more awesome, get more pop off your tail so you can feel like a boss. Now it's time to do a backside 180. Some people find this trick to be a little bit easier because we get to pop off our toes, but it's also scary because we're now rotating up the hill and we're going to be blind downhill. So we start off by winding up our lead shoulder and then getting low. And as we want to throw the trick, we're going to be extending our legs, throwing our lead shoulder back up the hill. In this situation, I did more of an ollie to get in the air. And then once I'm in the air, I'm bringing my knees up and I engage my core, which allows my body to rotate as one. Now, as I finish the rotation, I'm allowing my board to complete 180 degrees, but my shoulders and my eyes are slightly rotated uphill. I do this to help slow down the rotational momentum, and this does become a big deal when you are going faster or catching a lot more air. So have some fun with this one. A frontside 360 from flat ground is extremely challenging, but I wanted to throw this in here so that you had something to work on as you get more awesome. So we're going to start off by doing another heel side carve. We're going to be winding up our shoulders, really exaggerating the shifting our weight back over our tail so that we can get extra pop. We're going to throw our shoulders as flipping hard as possible, and we're going to rotate our upper body to about 270 degrees. As we do that, we're letting our lower body catch up. Now at the 270 mark, we're going to have to accelerate our lower body to finish the rotation, and we're going to have to leave our upper body behind just a little bit. Now you're going to notice that I do land on my toe side edge. I do lock it in and ride away. Have some fun with this, and if you do this trick, tag me on Instagram because that's impressive. Now let's go to the backside 180 again, but this time we're going to add some spice by doing a backside 180 nose roll. Now what's cool about this one is all we got to do is shift our weight over our lead foot, keep our lead leg extended, retract our back leg, and pivot over that board. Now the key is while you're doing this backside 180 nose roll is keep your core engaged and then land back on your toe side edge and ride away like a boss. Now, as your snowboard coach, it's extremely important for me to help you balance out your rotation. So this time we're going to be doing a frontside 180 tail roll. So as we do the tail roll, we're going to be shifting our weight over our tail and retracting our lead leg, which now is becoming our back leg. Now, it's extremely important as we do this, we're going to be pushing our tail down the hill and that we keep our toes up just a little bit so that we don't catch an edge. You can see it here where there's a little bit of sun / space between the edge and the snow so that we don't crash. This frontside shifty is an amazing demonstration of upper and lower body separation. Now you use upper and lower body separation when you're doing a lot of park tricks like a board slide. So this trick is extremely important for you to learn, and what better way to do it out and about. So we're going to point our board down the fall line and we're going to pop as much as we can. We're loading our tail so we can have as much hang time as possible. Now once we're in the air, I'm going to close my lead shoulder and I'm going to have my legs start to move in opposition and get to 90 degrees. This is called scissoring. Now once I've hit 90 degrees, I'm going to bring my legs back down the fall line so my board is pointed straight down the hill, allowing me to land. Now it's extremely important that you do this really quick and then bring it back. So try this as many times as you can, have some fun, and then we can take it to the park. So next season, I will be bringing out some puffy jackets. I'm a big fan of puffy jackets because they're so maneuverable. You get to like feel good, but you also stay super, super warm. But if it gets accidentally a little too hot out, we have some pit vents that allows us to cool down. So I'm gonna come out with a couple different colors, couple different sizes, but I'm gonna have a lightweight and a heavyweight jacket. And make sure you check out the link in the description below to keep up to date on everything going on with BENETEK. Now let's dive into tripods. The goal is to do a full 360-degree rotation on the nose of your snowboard like a boss. So what you're gonna do is wind up, throw, and then immediately put your hands on the ground as soon as possible, allowing you to have 3 points of contact with the snow. Now, it's really key if you keep your core engaged, allowing your whole body to rotate as one. And if you're feeling pretty frisky, you can hold this thing down as long as you can and then just ride this thing like a freaking roller coaster. And then in this specific video that you're seeing now, I have such control, I'm owning it, and then I pop out in the opposite direction, because why not? Now let's have a little bit of fun with the great conditions that we have. So we're going to be doing a toe-side spray / white room. Now the key is to have as much speed as possible and then slam on the brakes. The more tilt that you have on your board, the more the snow is going to go up. So you're trying to maximize the amount of pressure. So start with some small little slam on the brakes on your toe-side edge, open your lead shoulder, slam the brakes, and then just ride away. And as you expect by now, we got to even it out. So we're going to be doing a heel side spray. So it's very similar. Go fast, slam on the brakes, but you're going to notice that I take my back hand and place it on the ground as a little bit of a safety net in case my heels slip out, that I'm not falling over. You're also going to notice that I do extend my knees out pretty rapidly, and then I retract my knees in towards my body, allowing me to get over my board and ride away. Laybacks are super awesome, but if you have any bad hips, bad knees, or shoulders, please be cautious. So my goal is to actually take my hip and get it as close to the tail of my board as possible. And if the nose of my board rises, that's totally okay. And then I use my two other arms behind my tail to control my momentum and my direction. And then essentially, as I'm ready to stand up, I pull my board underneath my belly button, stand up, and ride away. Laid out carves are very doable if you have momentum on your side and you have a decent toe side carve. So you want to start off by pointing your board down the fall line, do a toe side carve, and then you're going to place your hands on the ground. As I place my hands on the ground, I'm actually going to extend my legs away from my hands, and then when I'm ready to come back in, I retract my knees back in. Of course, as you become more awesome in this, you can be more aggressive and really sink in, extend those hips and get as low as you can and bring those knees back up. Yeah, it looks fun, right? Give it a try. Now, this nollie chip shot is probably a trick that you've never seen before, but it's super fun when you're messing around with your friends. Now, the key is to do a nollie. So you're going to want to pop off the nose of your snowboard, and then as you immediately catch air, you're going to rotate your lead hip 45 degrees while slightly bringing your heels behind. Once you've done that, you're going to rapidly extend your back leg, kicking the snow, and once you've made contact with the snow, you're going to see a bunch of snow fling up. And the best part of this trick is I'm going to show you a couple different variations that are going to be perfect for a game of skate or snow, really. It's called snow. Now, if you're a boss, the next one to do is a toe chip frontside 180 out. As you're going to see here, I get the frontside 180 out. As soon as I do the toe pick, I retract my knees as hard as possible while throwing my shoulders and my body in the frontside direction, and then I land switch. So the coolest thing is we're able to take all these different variations, the nollie, the 180, extensions, and add them all together. That's why snowboarding is so magical. And I would argue that this backside 180 out variation is a lot easier because as I do the nollie toe chip, essentially I'm bouncing off of that edge instead of having to go in the opposite direction. So try both the frontside, backside variations and let me know in the comments below, how did it go? And did you have any challenges with this one? Big shout out to my buddy Adrian for teaching me this variation literally 10 years ago. So what you're going to want to do is do the nollie again, but as you perform the nollie, you want to take your heel and slightly slam it into the snow while lifting up your toes, and then the snow is actually going to get on top of your board, and then you rapidly push your lead leg down, pull your back leg up, and it's going to fling the snow even higher. And it's way easier if you do this when it's like soft snow, 10 times easier. Now the next one is actually 2 because it's going to be grabbing on both your heel side and your toe side turn. So now when I'm doing a heel side carve, I'm going to be grabbing Indy, which is my backhand between both of my bindings. Do not grab Tindy. And then when I'm on my toe side carve, I'm going to take my lead hand and grab on the heel side edge between my bindings. Now it's really important that you keep your belly button low and you use your knees to get as low as you can, allowing that grab to be way easier. Start small and use progressive movements versus rapid movements. Reverse carves are definitely a fan favorite trick, but once again, it does require you to be able to do a toe side carve. So as you're doing this reverse carve, the goal is actually be doing a carve backwards, hence the name. So as you're going into it, make sure you accumulate some speed to make this a little bit easier, so find the right pitch. I like to put my back hand on the ground as a guide. I take my back leg and swing it around so that it's nearly pointing back downhill, and then as my board is downhill, I'm going to engage my shins in the front of my boots, allowing me to engage that toe side carve. I'm gonna ride that toe side carve for as long as I can, and then I'm gonna swing my board back down the hill and ride away. The next one we got for you is a 270 spray to pull back. Essentially, what we're going to be doing is going fast. Once again, speed is our friend, and you're going to be performing a 270-degree flat ground rotation, but do not catch your edge as you're doing this. Once I've done the 270, I'm going to slam on the brakes. I'm trying to create as much tilt as possible so that I spray the snow. And then I do this thing called pullback, which instead of completing the full 360-degree rotation, I'm actually going back, so I only do a 180, and that's why it's called pullback. So check it out again here. Woo! I will be posting an entirely different video about tricks in the park, and that will include grabs, but for now we're going to be doing a crazy combination where we hit a side hit, we do a backside 180, and then we're going to do independent flexion extension. That simply means that I have my lead leg is going to be flexed as my back leg extends, and then we're going to do the exact opposite. As I do this, it actually makes the grab way easier to grab, but again, check out the next video because it's going to be linked in the description once it's released. I personally have never broken a board doing a nose block, but I cannot promise that's not going to happen to you, so try this one with some caution. So the goal is to be able to jump up, stick our nose in the ground, grab the opposite part of our board, balance for as long as we can, and then do a nice little pop out at the end. Now the key to this trick is to actually perform this trick at the apex of your momentum. So I am doing a toe side turn up the hill, which puts me on my nose, and then I'm going to jump as hard as I can and extend my lead leg down towards the ground as I take my back leg and try to retract it all the way almost across my body to my opposite shoulder, and then I'm going to grab the tail of my snowboard and I'm going to try to stay there as long as possible. Now remember, I'm actually trying to stick the board in the ground, so I'm locked in even longer. This might be a little bit confusing, but this is the nose of my snowboard versus the tail, but you could do a tail or nose. Have fun with this one. Do not break your board. It's not my fault. If you've made it all the way to 26, do me a favor and leave this video a like, because clearly you've stayed here. So the next one and the final one is a very doable slash just a good feeling trick, and it is a beautiful lay back good time. So what you're gonna do is, as you're pointing your board down the fall line, you're gonna accumulate a lot of speed, and then you're gonna rotate your board sideways while taking your backhand and placing that on the ground. Now I do want to keep my toe edge up, but if I keep it up too much, I'm going to slow down. If I don't keep it up enough, I'm going to catch an edge. So find the balance, and then you're going to bring your board under your belly button, stand up right away, and then comment down below which of these tricks was your favorite one. Like I said, I'm going to be posting a whole nother video doing a park breakdown, so stay tuned to that one because it's going to be amazing. And on that note, guys, nothing but love. We out.